Well, what we have going on today, this all just kind of came together last night or yesterday afternoon. First, I want to say thank you, Sakeli. He called my phone and he said, "Hey, I have something going on, but I'm extremely busy. Could you please take care of this for this person?" I said, "Sure, tell me what's going on." And he's like, "Well, we have a situation where there was a drowning out here back in October. And the loved ones down in Texas are flying up. They're going to be here tomorrow evening. So I'm going to have to drive back out here on Sunday and kind of go over what we did for them today on Friday. And their loved one was recovered. And basically we're just kind of helping getting them some answers and some conditions of the water where their loved one had the accident. So I want to go over the article that I found online to try to learn about this, so I'm more prepared for when we help this family. So this article was posted Thursday, October 29th, 2020 at 8 p.m. Drowning at Penrose Point State Park. A woman in her 50s died by drowning in the saltwater pond at Penrose State Park late, October 17th. Her identity has not been made public by the press. The Key Peninsula Fire Department was dispatched to Penrose at approximately 11:30 a.m. Volunteer battalion chief was first to arrive. Bystanders directed her to a tidal embayment a few hundred yards southeast of the main parking lot, where they heard a woman calling for help. The victim had been dragged out of the pond by her companion, who also called 911 and was yelling for help. The battalion chief began CPR and was soon joined by other medics. The victim was transported to St. Anthony's Hospital in Gig Harbor, where she was pronounced dead. According to her companion, the two were throwing toys in the saltwater pond for the dogs to chase. The victim entered the pond to retrieve a toy and yelled to her companion that she was struggling and went under the surface. Her companion entered the water, pulled the victim out, and dialed 911 while yelling to the other park visitors for help. The pond is open in the Puget Sound only at high tide. The surface warms up on a sunny day like Saturday, October 17th, but it becomes rapidly deeper and colder just a few feet from shore. Exposure to cold water can quickly incapacitate even the experienced swimmers, with a shock response that causes uncontrollable gasping and inhalation of water and sudden loss of blood pressure that can lead to death. At first, that I thought the family member was asking us to dive this cove, but actually the pond, you can't really see it from here. But if you see where that sand goes up and there's a couple of logs, that's actually, the pond is just on the other side of there. And they say you can only get to it at low tide, and that's why we're here this morning at low tide. Well, I mean, even if there was a couple feet of water, Sam and I can still get to it if we put our gear on, and it's probably what we're going to do because it looks a little bit muddy over there. I also want to read something that the family member sent to me. Now, this is a narrative summary on the report. The 50-year-old female, I'm not going to say the name, was with a companion in the park with a lagoon fed by the Puget Sound, playing with a dog. The descendant entered the water and retrieved the dog toy, swam out approximately 20 yards, expressed difficulty in the ability to return to shore. The companion swam out and pulled the descendant onto the shore and started CPR and called 911. Emergency medical services arrived and noted the descendant's head and shoulders were out over the water. So basically, the bottom half of the person was still in the water as they were performing CPR. Let's see, the descendant was unresponsive, in ashy tone color, without a pulse. EMS took over chest compressions. Foam was noted in the airway. Basically, and I've seen this happen. You know, especially when a scuba diver has an accident. So when you have foam coming up out of the airway, it's basically when you're trying to take, you're trying to breathe, but you're taking in water. So that water and that air is mixing, making a frothy foam, and you could kind of see it come out of the mouth after the fact. Not a very pleasant sight. Let's see. After transport to the hospital, death was pronounced shortly after arrival. Now the general water temperature of the Puget Sound was approximately 59 degrees, but I'd like to say that on a lot of my dives, I've seen it in the 40s. Now, yes, we are going a lot deeper than what's on the surface, but you know, once you get below that thermocline, you do start noticing temperature changing on your dive computer. So I would say that temperature's always been kind of about in the mid 40s to high 40s for me. Sam, what would you experience?
Yeah, it seems about right. It seems usually 48 to 52.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, 59 sounds a little too high, you know.
But with this being a lagoon over there, that seems like that might be a possibility.
So I'm hoping that I can get deep enough where my dive computer can turn on and I can make sure I can see if I can get a temperature off of it. The area was approximately depth of 20 feet. At high tide. The incident occurred on an outgoing tide. The exact depth at the time of the incident is unknown. So this is one of the things that the family member was talking to me about, that they didn't have any divers go in the water. You know, they basically, you know, the subject was pulled out of the water. They focused on her. They got her to the hospital, tried to do everything they could. So one of the things that she wants us to do is dive that lagoon or pond up there and kind of get her some information. So we're going to try to get her some depths, and we're going to try to get her some temperature. You know, we'll provide anything we can. We're going to even take all the raw video that we shoot underwater and put it on an SD card for her, so she can take that to, you know, kind of give her an idea of that body of water over there. So yeah, not to be confused with the cove. We're not going to be diving the cove. We're just going over.
Should we walk over there right now and show them, or
looks kind of muddy.
Gear up and then head over?
I think I would gear up just in case I get like stuck in mud and fall over, because it does look really like you could tell the water at high tide. It literally goes all the way up to that bank, but yeah, it does look pretty muddy in there.
Super muddy.
Yeah. Yep. So, but once again, we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Sakeli, you know, giving me a call and letting me know what's going on. And so Sakeli is SSP Diving. Please, I'm going to put his description I'm going to put his link in the description below. And he's an awesome commercial diver. Check out his channel. You can see all his commercial diving stuff going on. And I'm going to put down his diving business below as well. So Sakeli, thank you so much for the call. You know, Sam and I appreciate it. So Sam, anything you want to add?
No, I think I think we just, you know, get suited up, go over there. You know, check the bottom. I imagine, you know, with it being a little lagoon right there, the bottom's probably going to be similar to here. Maybe not as many rocks. I'm thinking kind of muddy, but yeah, let's say we, you know, suit up, go see what we can see, and you'll get the answers that the family's looking for.
Right. Now, Sam, you've been in Washington many years too. Like, when you hear about the middle of October, like, what do you think about the temperature?
Man. Oh yeah, when I think middle October, I'm thinking, you know, that's pretty cold. That's a pretty cold time.
Even on a sunny day.
Even on a sunny day, I think at best you might get to, you know, low 60s.
Right.
Unless it's like a freak thing and you get up to high 60s. But, you know, as far as, you know, water temperature, you know, I mean, it's a cold day. To me, it sounds like a cold day.
Right. And now when I read the cold shock response where we're in Chehalis River looking for Zach because of that, it seems like this is becoming very a common dangerous thing that we're starting to see, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure it's always been around. I think, you know, I think that it's just social media and news outlets, and now there's more coverage on this stuff. And I think, you know, with us, you know, providing coverage, you know, and you know, helping, you know, people to know about cold water shock, I think it helps get the word out. You know, I think people are always drowning, people are always having cold water shock. It's just now with all, you know, the social media, the news, the emails, the different avenues, I think it's just, that's why we're seeing it more, is because now there's more of it, more information accessible.
Right. You know, and I want to say that, you know, spreading awareness. And I know a lot of people, you know, they do appreciate Sam and I going out and trying to help spread awareness, and some people don't understand that. And it's like, honestly, I wouldn't even know unless there was some kind of coverage where it makes us informative, you know, and informed. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah, so hopefully, you know, us, you know, doing this and spreading the message, you know, will help educate people on cold water shock. And, you know, and if it's a cold day, maybe they'll think twice. And if it's a hot day, then maybe they'll still think twice, because that water still might be, you know, frigid cold. You know, here in the Puget Sound, you know, that's the biggest danger, you know, in the water is, you know, hyperthermia. Hyperthermia, you know, your body freezes up and you can't swim, you can't operate, and then down you go.
absolutely. All right, we're gonna see you guys out there.
You guys probably can't see it on the GoPro.
There he is.
He's right up there.
Just hanging out.
Yeah,
He was getting some little shellfish or something when the tide was out. Now he's just up there.
this is what I'm worried about here, all this mud.
Yeah.
You ready to start slogging through?
Yeah, I just hope I don't sink. I don't want to. Okay. I'll do the same. Oh, there's some oysters down here too, huh? Maybe that's what he's doing. He's, hey, buddy. Hey. Can we get some oysters? This gear is incredibly heavy. I guess to kind of give you an idea, I dive with 40 pounds of weight, plus the tank. How much does a tank usually weigh now, Sam? Isn't it like about a 45, 50 pounds, something like that? So, what each, because we're diving aluminum 80s today, because we don't have to go deep. I would say we're both carrying at least an extra 100 pounds on our backs. So I guess for anybody who goes hiking, I want to say I remember my 48-hour pack was like 45, 50 pounds. So I guess imagine hiking with two of them. So, all right, here's the really mucky, slippery, soupy part. Ooh, it's a little slick too. See all these holes from the clams or whatever? Okay. Alright, I'm gonna cut the video short right there. I don't want to waste all my video time. Just about to this pond. We had to trek it all the way from there. How's it look, Sam? Oh, so it is salt water. Yeah, the dark fuzzy.
Yeah. So when a sand dollar is alive, it's actually dark. Usually a dark black or a purple, or sometimes a brown. You flip it over, you can see the fuzzies there.
Mm-hmm.
I know with the filter on, it might come in a little red, but that's kind of a grayish color. Then the other side is black.
Yeah,
So,
really cool.
yeah.
I've seen them where they're stuck in the sand, kind of vertical too. They're all kind of huddled together. Oh yeah, you can see about a dozen of them to the right.
It's pretty shallow.
I mean, it looks shallow, but you can't see the bottom over there.
We'll start looking around.
Okay.
Let me know if you see anything. I'm just picking up the garbage as I go, try to help clean up a little bit of the environment. So, going through the middle, my computer could not get any deeper than 6 feet. So even if the water, like let's say we had a lot of rain, even if the water was at the top of that sandbar, that's maybe 10 feet deep max. So, and my computer registered, right now it's May, I think it's Friday, like May 7th or 8th. And my computer said it was 52 degrees. So I could see it getting a lot colder than that in October. Figure we bring the metal detectors in case we have to go searching for stuff, but I don't know if I knew exactly where she went in and got pulled out, I could search right there, see if anything was dropped, but I don't know if there's any point to it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at this end, and I'm going to see how far I can walk across this lake, this little pond touching. So it is very muddy. I can see how somebody's feet can get literally stuck in the mud. Let me try to do this. It's hard to go frontwards with fins. I'm going to try to do it backwards. It's easier to walk backwards with the fins. Now I'm 5 foot 9, 5'10", so I should be able to get most of the way before I go under the water. if the water was up level with the top of that sandbar where that log is at, that would basically be 10 feet deep in that deepest part. Other than that, I would say the deepest part is right there, 6 feet. Let me see if I can get Sam, see what his opinion is real quick. So I started at that little tree over there.
Yeah.
And I walked all the way to here.
Yeah.
And the deepest I got was 6 feet.
6 feet. That's all I got.
Yeah, and the temperature on my computer at that 6 feet was 52 degrees.
What time is it now?
Oh, I never set the time.
Well, like time.
Probably like 11.
11. So this is what it looks like at 11 o'clock on today's tide.
Okay.
So we're going to take a little screenshot of today's tide at 11 o'clock. Let people know this is what it looks like. And then compare it to what the tide was like then. Because maybe the water was a little higher.
Yeah,
but even if it was a little higher, it wouldn't be more than 9 feet.
See, I was like, when I told the camera, I said, if it was up to that berm where that log is at, I'm thinking 10 feet.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're thinking the same thing as I am, 9, 10 feet.
Yeah, 9, 10 feet top.
Yeah, because if you look across the way, you can see that there's probably about another 3 feet of the bushes before they stop.
I went over this way. I did this way, and all that's super shallow.
Yeah.
I mean, you can snorkel this whole thing.
Yeah. The visibility is like a cloudy 3 feet.
Yeah.
I saw a moon snail. I saw anemones. I saw little fish.
So lots of crabs.
Sand dollars.
Lots of sand dollars. Lots of sea life. So this is salt water for sure.
Right. Yep.
And it's so my guess is, when the tide comes up, the Puget Sound just empties right into this little pocket here and creates this lagoon.
Right. And some critters get pushed in and everything.
Yeah. It was actually a pretty good little estuary. Nice little place for life to grow. It was good to see all the moon snails. I haven't seen those in a while.
Yeah, I saw one. So I don't know exactly where she went in, because I was thinking we could metal detect to see if anything was dropped, but I don't know where exactly she went in. So
but like you said, checking this whole entire area, the deepest spot is over there at 6 feet.
Right.
Everything else, that's the deepest.
Yeah, and I walked. Like, I was basically about 5 feet. I had to put my regulator in so I could breathe, but the water was like right here.
Yep.
But it was very soft mud. My feet, if you stand still and wiggle, your feet will get stuck.
Oh yeah.
Where you got to pull your foot out.
Yeah.
So I did see a lot of shells and a lot of
oysters.
Yeah.
Makes me want to develop a taste for oysters. Maybe we should develop a taste for oysters.
Oysters are good. I love oysters.
Here,
so
this way. Tilt your camera's touch.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. So what do you think?
I think that's, as far as coming here, surveying the area, seeing how deep it was, seeing what, the bottom is like. We know that it's, it's muddy. There's a little bit of seaweed. There's, a few sticks here and there. As far as, the height, the temperature, we got everything that, they wanted us to do. I think from here, it's just, we just got to put it together and present them with the footage and the information. That way they have the answers that they were looking for.
Absolutely.
It's coming out today and just doing this for them. It feels good. It doesn't, bring their loved one home, or it doesn't change the fact, but at least now they have a few of their questions in their mind that they can now silence. So I think that's coming out today was a good thing.
Absolutely cool. So we'll do a little bit of recap out of our gear, and I think that might be it. So we'll see you guys when we get out of the water.
See you up there.
I have a little bit of battery left, so Sam and I are going in the water. We're going to go across that sandbar and see if we could just kind of, get a little bit of marine life on the way, kind of show you guys what it's like out here.
Yeah, and immediately getting in the water right now, as I'm looking down, I can see this is a sand dollar bed. So we're carefully weaving our way through. You can just look down. I don't know if you want to, let me show you guys. You guys can see all these sand dollars. Anyways, there's all kinds of sand dollars in this area, so right now we're making sure not to step on them. It's really cool to see a sand dollar bed. One of my favorite things here.
There's also oysters too. Check out the oysters. Like, you can see where the seagulls are picking them up and dropping them on that rock.
Oh yeah.
And see the white powder on the rocks. When
Oh,
they're
that's
dropping
super cool. Heck yeah.
them. Now I can see why the raccoon was down here, because he was probably trying to grab an oyster to open it up and get some food
Absolutely.
during low tide. So that's what the raccoon was probably doing. So we'll get in the water, go across the sandbar, see if we can kind of give you guys a little bit more of a perspective with this this park, the marine life down here. So stay tuned for that. So Sam and I are down in Penrose State Park, and like I said in the intro, is we went and wanted to check out this little saltwater pond that we had out here that somebody unfortunately drowned at back in October, the middle of October. The conditions that we had, Sam, I think the deepest I had was when I looked at my dive computer was 6 feet, and and I stood up and I was walking, and I think about the 5 foot mark, since I'm like 5'9", 5'10", I had to put my regulator in when I hit the 5 foot mark, and I kept walking all the way back, and I didn't see it get any deeper than 6 feet.
No, yeah, the deepest spot was definitely about 6 feet. I could see if there's a high tide, like a king tide or something, and that area fills up, it might get all the way up to 9 to 10 feet. We'd have to look at around the time of the drowning, and the day, and kind of get an idea of what the tide was doing, because that little lagoon over there, it's just like a little pocket, but once the the Puget Sound comes in and it crests that brim, then that water is just going to dump in there.
Right.
But if it doesn't crest the brim, then that water just kind of dissipates a bit.
Right. And I want to say, I checked my dive computer, went down to the deepest 6 feet, boom, 52 degrees. So I'm kind of curious what it would have read when it was in the middle of October, because right now it's almost the middle of May, and it's springtime versus fall time, So visibility was cloudy 3 feet, very muddy. Like my feet were getting stuck in the mud, and I had to kind of pull to kind of get in and out of the mud. So it was a very muddy bottom in there. There was a little bit of marine life, saltwater marine life, moon snails, sand dollars, little anemones. You see anything else interesting down there?
Just crabs. See a few different species of crabs, a couple of tiny fish, like little sculpins. Nothing unusual.
Right. And we did, to kind of to give a little bit of compare and contrast, we did go across the cove to kind of see, and we did see similar life and everything. So that's pretty much it. And I want to say thank you, Sakeli, with SSP Diving. I'm going to put his link in the description below. I'm going to put a link to his YouTube channel. Please check out his YouTube channel. He's the one that referred us, so we can come out and help the family, give him some answers. And he also has his commercial diving. I'm going to put that link also below, so feel free to contact me if you need any help. And he's got really cool videos. So thank you, Sakeli. Really appreciate it. Sam the Adventure Man, thank you for coming out and helping me with this. Sam, I didn't want to, I felt better that we can work together and do more of these kind of things, and I hope the content is valuable to help spread awareness, that cold shock response and everything. So
yeah, touching on that, from everything I saw, the water was shallow. The wind's picking up, so I'm speaking up a little louder. The water was shallow. It seems like it had to have been a cold water response, to her system, totally shut her down. Because otherwise you could have just hopped along, the bottom. But yeah, the cold water is nothing to play with. So make sure you guys stay safe and keep that in mind.
Thank you. And that's been another episode of Cooper's Amputee Lifestyle. Thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you, Sam the Adventure Man. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.